So last night there was a scheduled meeting in the township of Thornton, and that meeting got canceled kind of mid-afternoon. And initially, word on the street was that because Jerry Jones, one of the trustees, had stepped down due to personal and maybe some health concerns, he had stepped down. And so the trustees didn't want to have a meeting because they didn't have control. They didn't have their vote to go the direction they wanted, which was away from the supermayor. But the official reasoning was citing safety concerns. The trustees boycott the meeting with Dalton Mayor. Now, diving into this, it does appear like there is legit reason for these safety concerns. Let's get into it. Here we go. I mean, we've had some meetings, and there have been meetings in Dalton, Township of Thornton, where things have gone wildly sideways, right? Where you've had, people standing up and screaming at one another. The police basically called in, people concerned. We've talked about that. We've live streamed about that, where there's a real sense of possible, somebody brings a gun in because you haven't gone through the metal detector. Who knows? I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. So at the end of, I think it was one of the last meetings, there was some real heated words and some real exchanges going on that made the trustees not feel very comfortable about what was happening. I mean, to the point where they're basically stating, hey, we need some more security up in here. Otherwise, we're not going to hold this meeting. And that's officially the reason. Let's watch a quick little video here.
New drama tonight involving a controversial politician in the south suburbs. Tiffany Henyard was the only Thornton Township leader to show up for a scheduled meeting. Others telling us they're worried for their safety. CBS News Chicago is always investigating. Our Jermont Terry is live with a new twist in this months-long saga. Jermont.
Erica, good evening. The most notable difference tonight, everyone entering this building behind me had to go through security. And it was because of lack of security, the trustees opted to not attend tonight's meeting. And that just left Supervisor Tiffany Henyard to make her own address on a variety of topics. Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard entered the room to a nearly vacant board table. She gave the clerk a hug as every other seat next to them was vacant.
Due to the fact that we do not have a quorum, there will not be an actual voting meeting.
The reason trustees did not show up, they argue, is due to this.
Like I said, it was about to get physical.
Trustee Chris Gonzalez sat out Tuesday night's meeting after he claims the trustees got no response from Henyard about how she could keep these meetings safe.
Well, I do know the trustee also did send a communication to the state. We need some help here because this is getting out of control and, somebody's going to get hurt.
And safety is my top priority.
Henyard says the trustees insisted on having meetings in the basement overflow room. She says she wanted meetings in the board chambers where she sat alone Tuesday night.
We called our security firm. We made sure they had wands. And we also told our board to come upstairs due to the fact they had several ways to exit out of the building.
Henyard implied this was a stall tactic by the trustees.
To say that it's an antic, let's sit down and put something together, a safety plan, and then we'll just take it from there. But once again, there's no communication.
One trustee did communicate with Henyard and the clerk. Trustee Jerry Jones resigned suddenly, according to Henyard.
Me and the board and also the clerk will talk about our steps moving forward for her filling that vacancy.
Since there was no official business addressed, Henyard took the time to speak out about a huge surplus she says exists in the township.
It's around $9 million surplus here in Thornton Township.
In addition to that $9 million plus surplus she says exists, Henyard also says she's making $2 million available to some 25,000 homeowners to help in the high property taxes in the area. It's not clear tonight exactly how anyone can get access to those funds, so that's a to be determined. As for Trustee Jones, his resignation, we should point out he is the senior or was the senior trustee on this board. It's not clear why he resigned all of a sudden. Reporting live in South Holland tonight, I'm Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
Thank you, Jermont.
So here's that resignation. And, towards please know at this time, I must prioritize my personal and health life going forward. Sincerely, Jerry Jones. Now, Jerry Jones thought that he was going to be the supervisor of trustees. He really felt like this was his position. And you know what? It probably was. In hindsight, being 100% just 2020 vision. Yeah. Had Jerry Jones gotten the position as supervisor, I do not believe we'd be doing this podcast right now. Because the Township of Thornton wouldn't be involved. It would just be Village of Dalton, where the Supermayor is the mayor. So you got that issue. The security issue. Okay. All right. Okay. I get that. Does that seem like a reason to cancel a meeting? I mean, they're not going to get anything done between now and the next meeting, security-wise, I don't think. They're going to get enough in place to make everybody feel comfortable. So what's the difference between then and now? I think you've got a bunch of different moving parts going on.
No, that is strictly under me, under GA. But my job was being transparent, and I would love the board's approval with me. I would love that. But the way that law is set up here, the supervisor is the sole person over the GA department. That's the general assistant department. The board, their department, I'm responsible for like general fund. So that's why when you hear me up here saying, hey, why y'all taking stuff out of the GA department? You got no authority in that. And that's what I'm talking about when I say it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Tank.
I'm a private investigator. I got some look that says Supermayor. Inside, I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Tyrone Newsom Jr. to you as both personal and in your role as mayor.
Okay, thank you. You were inside the check. You didn't have to look back, huh? All right. I guess anything else? I get sued all the time. Y'all stop it. What happened?
Okay. All right. Let's break that down for just a second, right? Let's go back here. Let's go right to right here. Okay. Yeah, let's start off with, I've got an envelope here and it says Supermayor. That's how ridiculous this has become. Because she is not the supermayor. She's the supervisor of trustees and she's the mayor. And she put those together. So this guy is a private investigator serving her. And
that's what I said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Tank.
I'm a private investigator. I got some book that says Supermayor. Inside, I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Tyrone Newsom Jr. to you as both personal and in your role as mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Both personal and in your role as mayor. Now, this is a court case that I'm not very familiar with. I need to read into this one. Sounds like they're going after the mayor. They're going after her personally and in her position as mayor. Let's keep going.
Inside the check. You didn't have to look back, huh?
Need to have clickbait, huh? Need to have clickbait. Somebody suing you? You think that they're doing that just because of clickbait? This is how the supermayor just kind of brushes off all these cases. There's over 40 lawsuits that have been launched against the supermayor, Village of Dalton, Township of Thornton. Over 40 lawsuits. And I get sued all the time. Well, why are you being sued all the time? Why are you being sued all the time? What's up with that? Right? What other mayor gets sued like this? Do other mayors, are they just being sued left, right, and center? And this is the Village of Dalton is a small village. It's not huge. You had population of 20,000, roughly, something like that. And you've got over 40 lawsuits between her position there, Township of Thornton. I don't know what the breakdown is, but I just remember Bert Oldelson saying, hey, there's been over 40 lawsuits. And that's why one of the major networks is going to be releasing, apparently, any time a made for TV documentary on this whole storyline, because you've got stories like this where you've got a canceled meeting that might be because one of the trustees stepped down and we don't really know why, or because meetings get so out of control that, there's security issues. We're talking about security issues. This is literally made for television. This is beyond television, because if you were writing this, you wouldn't come up with these little subplots where a guy says, yeah. I mean, can you imagine sitting down at the writing table? All right, we're going to have him say, hey, on the envelope, it says Supermayor. No, it would say Miss Tiffany Henyard. You know what I mean? Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Supervisor of Trustees Tiffany Henyard. Instead, it says Supermayor, and the guy's wearing his camo hat, and you've been served. And maybe he served her a bunch, but this guy literally sat through the whole meeting, which wasn't really a meeting, right? It was a canceled meeting where Tiffany Henyard basically sat down and just started talking about everything that she wanted to talk about. So she got everything off of her plate. No official business got taken care of. None. Just none. Let's roll this guy out.
I guess anything else? I get sued all the time. I get sued all the time, y'all.
I get sued all the time. I just get sued all the time. Who else has that going on in their lives besides big real estate developers, and people that are doing really dodgy things, really sketchy things? I got sued again. How come? Well, because I've been violating the law. Oh, okay. Well, because I'm shafting somebody else. Those are the only people that get sued continuously, right? I mean, it just doesn't happen. You're going to have some lawsuits. There's always somebody suing a big city for something, but this is not a big city. It's a small village. Her percentage of number of lawsuits per 1,000 members of the community, that has got to be just astronomical. It's just got to be crazy. Off the charts. So this happened towards the end, and you're just left with, oh, okay. All right. This is a pretty normal occurrence. Just, another Tuesday evening in Village of Dalton, or Township of Thornton. Just another, kind of stuff going on. Thornton Township trustee Carmen Carlisle explains meeting cancellation. This is from the Lansing Journal. Now, Lansing Journal provides some really excellent journalism, like old school journalism, where they kind of outline the facts and they just state, here's what it is. This is what's going on. I really enjoy Melanie Jongsma, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think I am. That sounds like Dutch or something. I don't really know. Henyard gets served. Members of the public were surprised to receive a memo Tuesday afternoon announcing that the township board meeting had been canceled for that evening. I was doing a live stream with, and I had on board, Critical Smoker, and Critical Smoker said, no, he's another YouTuber that covers this, as well as Reality Check TV. And it's Reality Check TV that we just saw the footage from. That was his YouTube footage. So between those two guys, they're boots on the ground and they're covering what's going on really well. If you want to check them out from hey, can I get a live feed? Reality Check TV and Critical Smoker. Those guys are covering it and they're doing a great job. The memo was from trustees Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez and referred to safety concerns. So now we're getting into the actual, what's going on, as to what safety concerns. What do you mean? We regret to inform the public and media that there will not be a quorum at tonight's scheduled board meeting for the 10/8/24. That was last night. This decision follows unresolved safety concerns that were raised at the 9/24/24 meeting regarding the safety of residents, staff, and officials. That was the last meeting where things at the end, you had the guy that was a community member, and he said that Tiffany Henyard needed to be disciplined like a dog. She needed to be whacked on the snout. and people just freaked out. Apparently the guy he's got some kind of legal case against him. This is the citizen that was talking to the community. He was up at the, pulpit or the microphone, whatever. And he's got enough where more than one person raised the fact that he's a pedophile. I don't know. But he made the comment and just kind of all hell broke loose. I mean, it was wild. It was wild. I'm sure you've seen that. It's crazy footage.
When informed about safety concerns, I immediately reached out to Rob, told him we need to handle this as best as we could. We requested security at each door. They wanted metal detectors on such short notice. We asked them, could they have wands? I'm sure most of you all got wands today. That's the first time. So we did start putting things in place. We had correspondence with the actual security company, and they gave several different layouts. The main thing was to make sure all doors were covered so no one could go up and let somebody in after coming through the main entrance door and being warned. So we did take those matters seriously and started working on them immediately. If many of you remember, the supervisor had concerns about safety because there was a lot of attacks on her. The board would not comply. They still made her go downstairs. This room is the safest room because it's easy to control, and the elected official has 2 doors that they could exit out of if the meeting did get out of control. But we did start immediately working on safety concerns, not just for one trustee that asked for it, but for everyone. So, yeah, I don't know where they got that from. We started working on it immediately. And as you see, some measures have already started, even as far as the wands. So that's just a lie.
Okay, thank you so much. So I just wanted to clear up what misleading information is out there that is really false reports.
Despite numerous attempts to address these issues after that board meeting, board members are kind of freaked out. Address these issues with the supervisor's office. We have yet to receive a response regarding the safety plan that is essential for ensuring a secure environment for all attendees. I wasn't there. It looked like you had people that were upset, but were they going to go to blows? A lot of it, got to be honest, a lot of it was female on female. They were screaming at each other because they had differing opinions on what was going on. That's fair enough. But is that going to escalate to physical violence? Maybe. And my concern would be somebody brings a gun. So there have been these ongoing issues of where the mayor has said, hey, we need to have metal detectors before we go into this meeting because somebody's going to bring a gun. Got to remember, this is Chicago, the south side of Chicago, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, just I think last night, no, we won't get into the crime stories, but there's stuff going on in the community that would lead others to believe, hey, there is a valid reason to have security concerns. It's our priority to make informed decisions that prioritize the well-being of our community. We will announce a new date for the rescheduled meeting. Thank you for your understanding as we work to ensure the safety of everyone involved. All right, so that's from Carmen Carlisle and Chris Gonzalez. Carmen Carlisle being the one, whenever I see her name, I always think of Tiffany Henyard calling her Lion Carmen Carlisle because you got the L's in there. She's not a liar. She's a straight shooter, and I believe what she says is typically the truth, as well as Christopher Gonzalez. Chris Gonzalez, his issue is okay, we're here, the mayor is here, let's work something out so that we can get a compromise together and get this figured out. Because, both the township and the village of Dalton, they've got a bunch of unresolved issues going on. Because of all this chaos with the supermayor, things just get delayed. And this meeting is a good example of that, where you don't have this absolute craziness in other town meetings. The meetings that I watch in Seattle, you got a bunch of people with weirdly colored hair. You got people with blue hair, pink hair, and they're just absolute far left lunatics. You know what I mean? They're just, and they scream and yell, and they don't really know what they're screaming and yelling for. And our mayor here in Seattle basically brings in the cops and says, yep, clear them out. All right, we're going to finish this meeting out in lockdown. And they do, and they get things done, because otherwise you just never get anything done. But because you don't have a board and a mayor that are working together to get things done, this is where you end up. You end up with these canceled meetings, not having a budget, all kinds of just absolute craziness. And this is layered on top of FBI probes, IRS probes. I mean, we don't know how many probes we've got going on right now. Those things are all being worked out as this kind of craziness goes on. It's wild. It's wild. And so when the supermayor says clickbait, it's not clickbait. Clickbait is when you throw out a topic or you throw out a thumbnail that you want to get people to click on your video, but it's not really what's going on. Whatever you highlighted in the title and your thumbnail is disingenuous. It is misleading. None of these topics that we're talking about on Township of Thornton or Village of Dalton are clickbait, because we are literally reporting on what is going on, the actual mechanics of what are going on. And this one case, it was, well, there's no board meeting because you got safety concerns, because, people just about came to Dukes at the end of the last meeting after a pedophile allegedly started saying that the supermayor should get smacked on the snout like a dog, because that's how you discipline animals. I mean, and then, you throw that out there, and if that was the only thing, that'd be fine. But then you've got the mayor in a non-meeting. This is not an authorized meeting. They do not have quorum, meaning they don't have enough folks there to do a vote and have it be official business. So a process server, a private investigator, sits through the whole meeting and then gets up and goes, yep, I got something for you. You're served, Supermayor. I mean, the whole thing is just, it's literally, you couldn't script it. You couldn't script it. So whatever comes out on TV, it's not going to be nearly as exciting as what we're following here in real life. The real folks that are being impacted by this are the citizens of the Township of Thornton and the citizens of the Village of Dalton. Those people are they're getting screwed because of all this going on. And yeah, that is unfortunate, and it's terrible. And it's why, so many eyeballs are on this, because this isn't just happening to nobody. It's happening to an entire community and 17 townships that are part of the Township of Thornton. Crazy stuff. All right. Thanks for being here. I'd love to have you subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.